Another way for the people to take power, I don't want to make everything political, but it is what it is. It's by voting. And when I say voting, I'm not only talking about the president. We could vote for mayors, we could vote for judges, and we could also vote for DAs, district attorneys. Yes, we could vote for these people for our county. We sure can. The people that are voting for these people are most likely cops, most likely rednecks. That's why every single time that some fuck shit like this happen, it goes to their favor. Because these people have the powers, DAs, these judges, these attorneys, they have the power to prosecute these cops.
That was Cardi B, who has been consistent, actually. I think I mentioned her name in not a nice light, but she has been consistent. I've been consistently talking about her sitting down and having conversations with Bernie Sanders and telling people to vote and talk about she's been getting politically active. And I think we need, if you have a platform, you need to be out there doing something. As Killer Mike said, if everyone does a little, we don't have to do so much. Is that what he said? You repeated it better than I did.
Everybody does a little. Nobody has to do a lot.
Thank you.
And I like Cardi B as well, too, because she has an audience. No, regardless of what you say, not you, but regardless of what people say about her, she has an audience. And when she speaks like that, it may not be the way you would speak, but there are people who hear it when it comes like that from her.
Listen, I'm not snobby like that, Mike.
No, not you. When I say you,
wait, no. I'm saying Mike Render corrected my grammar when we first, I was like, you didn't hear him?
Yeah.
I said, what you got? He said, what I have. I was like, okay,
wow.
all right. I see you. We see each other. I wasn't mad about it, but I recognize he had time. And that's and then listen, all of these things, it's all good because we are all in this together to make, as you said, to make some things good happen in the world. We're in this together. We're in a community. That's what the commercials say. Speaking of that,
every last one of them.
I've been watching the videos of the riots, not riots. What do we call them? Civil unrest.
Civil unrest.
And there's a video that was circulating on my timeline of a man dressed in all black like the Omen. He had a gas mask on and some gloves, and he was breaking windows at the AutoZone. That video's there. Mm-hmm. And this little kid, he's not a kid, a younger person with a pizza box. In the community, they had videos of it. They were saying, "Are you a cop? Are you a cop?" And they were chasing him, and he wasn't engaged. He just broke out the windows, right? Yeah. They're like, "What are you doing?" And the video circulated. Allegedly, his ex-wife recognized him. She said, "That's my." It had a little pink thing on it. She said, "That's my gas mask,"
wow.
And those are my gloves that I bought him. And she outed him, put his name out there, and he was a cop. And they have a side-by-side picture of him in the gas mask, a picture of him that the ex-wife supplied to social media. Social media is doing the most. Let me just shout out to them.
The investigative reporting is unreal. And the fact that you haven't seen that on mainstream news yet, it may have happened since we've been on the air. But I was like, this is very important because, again, what I was referring to at the top of the show, there's a playbook, there's a manual, and certain things are going to happen in these type of scenarios. And a lot of times inside agents are the ones who kick off the chaos. Protesters will come. It happened in Baltimore. It happened in Baltimore on video. I'm local to this area, so we got to see it differently than what the rest of America saw after the Freddie Gray. There was a peaceful protest that walked past a Baltimore Orioles game. And the drunk patrons outside the outside bars are the ones who kicked off the violence. But it never got reported. In St. Louis, there was social media reporters on the ground who were live streaming and periscoping and saying that, there are outside agitators here amongst us. Paid protesters, so let's say to give you context, if there's a wall of protesters who are fed up, they're walking down the street, they're marching peacefully, they're chanting, and then someone picks up a bottle or a rock and throws it at the police. In more often than not, that's an outside agitator, someone who's not from that community, someone who probably could be even paid, and someone who's trying to kick off the violence. And what ends up happening is that it becomes contagious. And so with that particular clip that you're talking about, you got to think.
It was a white man. It was a white man. Now, the reports say that it wasn't the police officer. According to reports, his supervisor said it's not him, but it was a white man who clearly was not part of the protest, because when the protesters, came up on him, he walked away really fast and didn't want any parts of the video.
And also, if you saw it, and if you're listening right now, so think about, what was he busting the windows for? Well, if you know anything about tactics or fire, if you vent a building or vent a space, it burns faster. So let's just assume or hypothesize that maybe he wasn't the only one out there. He was working his role.
His job was to break the windows.
And break the windows, and then when the fire starts, however it got started, it spread quickly. There are other reports that apparently, and this is alleged, that he was followed back to the 3rd precinct, to the actual station. And he had an umbrella on. This is really going to mess your head up. He was mess your head up. Why did he have the umbrella?
Why did he have the umbrella up?
Well, there's facial recognition technology that's being used that catches people from above.
Ah.
I mean, he's out there with an umbrella.
Umbrella, and it was no rain. There was no rain.
No rain.
Or winter storm.
It's just a lot to think about and to throw in while we're looking at what we're looking at. Even with Jimenez being arrested live on the news, it's more to it. There's a level of manipulation and conditioning that's happening, so that even as you're looking at it with your own eyes, you're being desensitized, and they're trying to condition you to what's happening next. So that's all I really, that's as far as I've gotten.